what's up, what's up, everyone? This is GUA, and me bringing you guys a rec review here from Cavalier, who's a Platinum 1 player. This was, I believe, from the Blades Open tournaments. I wanted to review both of his games, Game 1 and Game 2, but I couldn't watch the Game 1 rec. I waited too long or whatever, and the rec's invalid. So this is Game 2 here. Looks like we have an Ambassador on Lipany, so I'm going to follow Cavalier. And yeah, I'll give Cavalier some suggestions here, see what he could have done better. Alright, so he's saying he's doing one scout with the Bassids, which is good. I recommend doing not training a second scout. Makes the house, normal stuff. Yep, there's like 7 to food, 3 to gold, pretty like standard. He could, right here when he passed by, I think this was maybe like his first mistake, I would have dropped off these sheep. Well, you know, what you want, yeah, he's like already running out of sheep too, so this is actually pretty bad. Like his scout was right here, and as he ran by, he should have selected his sheep and then right-clicked onto the building, and then the sheep would run to the building, and essentially the sheep would run towards the building, but his scout would still stay on his normal scouting path and not have to like go towards his TC. So anytime like you kind of run past one of your buildings, you can select all your sheep and then right-click on the building. That way your scout's basically still scouting, but you're sending sheep back home. So it already looks like this is a bad situation where he's going to run out of food on top of his town center, and then it's going to be like full panic mode. So that was quite painful. And right now, he's kind of lapping back around and scouting his entire base, which is not going to be good because he's going to lose a lot of scouting time. Instead, he would have like already been going towards his opponent kind of instead of overlapping scouting pattern. And maybe he might have dropped off enough sheep to age up. Okay, maybe he just saw that like he dropped off initially enough sheep, but still, I mean, there's like a couple of idle villas right now, and he can't go on berries. So that's one nice thing with the Bassids. Like right now, he lapped back around to kind of drop off the sheep. Like this is wasted scouting pattern. Like he scouted his entire base, but now he's overlapping his scouting pattern. Like he should see his opponent's base by now, and yeah. So a little bit wasted, wasted scouting in my opinion. And let's see. Okay, so he's only has 3. Okay, he's not doing wheelbarrow, which is fine. There's a couple different builds you can do in a Ambassador, and he's just skipping a mill and just going fresh food stuff. It looks like, which is fine, but. He is overgathering gold, unless if he's going to do like fresh food stuff and then do wheelbarrow. I guess you can also do that. Okay, and he's opening stable, that's fine. Like I said, in Ambassador, there's quite a few different ways to really play Ambassadors, honestly. Been seeing a lot of different builds. Usually players do, well not usually, but a lot of times players will open with one military building, either a stable or an archer range, and make a couple units, put on a little bit of aggression, try to delay the opponent's second TC or something, or kill a villager. Sometimes you can just do a naked, not do any military building, and just do a town center right away. Sometimes players will make a mill and do wheelbarrow, so there's quite a few different ones. Looks like Cavalier does have idle TC right now, which is obviously a mistake. He does have already fresh food stuff, which is good, but especially when your villagers are only 25 food. Queue upville. Yeah, I mean, there it goes. He's up a couple villas. Yeah, minimizing idle TC time is very, very important. Okay, and Cavalier did gather basically just enough gold for wheelbarrow, so I think this is kind of a fine build. I mean, he's going to delay the wheelbarrow though, so and he's not going on stone, which is okay. I don't like that he used 3 villagers to build the mining camp, which is a mistake. Should only use like 1 to build it, and then just have the 2 gathering. Kind of just wasted villager second spit. And it looks like he has way too much on food, I'll tell you that. The one thing with Ambassador macro is after you get fresh food stuff, it's like you have your villagers almost like they're 25 food, very, very cheap. So it's super easy to like have too much food with a Bassett. The macro feels quite a bit different than other civs, like how many villas you need on food. So like all Cavalier's doing is making a couple of horsemen and he's queuing up vills. And look at it, he has 12 vills on food and he already 304 food. So like he's got way too many vills on food. which is going to delay a second TC, delay wheelbarrow, and, you know, all that stuff. And WNT is open with barracks and spears. And it looks like he probably did the wheelbarrow opening. Alright. So Cavalier using horseman to try to... I just lost a horseman there, unfortunately. Yeah, you want to be careful. It's yeah, not to throw units, of course. Yeah, it's really not worth it. Like, just lost 2 units. Like, it's good to try to put on aggression, but yeah, like, that's just not worth it. Like, he lost 3 horsemen, like, basically completely for free. And that's one thing, yeah, he lost a lot of resources there. Like, sometimes it feels good, like, oh, you make units, you know, you want to harass, do something. Which, yeah, it's of course good if you can, but unsuccessful raiding is, you know, really bad. It's not like raiding isn't always good. It's good if you kill, like, you know, villas and kind of escape. But I think he killed that one vill right there. Yeah, he killed one vill, but he lost like 5 horsemen, which is a lot of resources to throw away a very early portion of the game. Like, he's losing way too many units. And when you lose this many units like this, it's super easy to fall behind in military, and then that allows your opponent to have like an early timing push where they can just overwhelm you with military, or WNT could be like, well, I killed a ton of units, so now Cavalier won't be able to be aggressive for a long time, and now I can get away with like a ton of booming or something. So yeah, Cavalier just losing a lot of resources. And also, I wouldn't make that many horsemen. I would rather TC before, do a TC earlier, you know, instead of making so many horsemen. Like, you make maybe like 2 horsemen and then do the TC. But yeah, looking at Cavalier's macro, he's very mismacroed at the moment. Like I said, looked like he had way too many villagers on food, led to him having like crazy amounts of food. He gets the second TC up, you know, pretty damn late. Makes the mill on the bears, which you want to do, of course. He does have the resources for wheelbarrow, but he still hasn't researched it. And this is what was kind of weird, where he initially gathered gold for wheelbarrow at like in age 1, but it's at 10 minutes and he still hasn't researched wheelbarrow. So that's why the build doesn't feel very optimal. Now he's finally researching wheelbarrow, but that gold was gathered so long ago, and was just sitting in his bank. And yeah, right now, basically at this moment, he's just really mismacroed. You're like 10 minutes in game and floating like almost 2k res. You want to have a much cleaner macro. Like, you may be trying to age, but... And he's not really scouting his opponent right now, so I'm just, you know, I don't know, how do you SAS, WNT? WNT could be on 3rd TC, and yeah, you know, when you're playing against the Bastard, you always want to scout the mining camp. You can click on it, and if you see it's at 600 stone, that means he's doing 3rd TC. You know, 600 or less, he's doing 3rd TC, so yeah. This guy has now his 3 TCs. He's going to be booming away, as, you know, Bastard typically do, and yeah, Bastard matchups. Looks like WNT is maybe throwing away some units here. I think this was actually a good fight for Cavalier. That was like a really bad exchange for NT, especially since he's like doing 3rd TC and stuff. He doesn't need to like be aggressive. But yeah, Cavalier's gonna fall behind massively in the economy since he's only on 2 town centers and he's just floating a ton of resources. And I guess he can age. There are a lot of different ways you can play a Bastard Mirrors, honestly. Sometimes getting a kind of early H3 can feel good, but he is going to go for an H3. I don't know, generally I don't like this because Absid are kind of good playing an age down. Like the H2 Spearmen with Phalanx are really good and actually do quite like decent versus H3 Man Arms. And you know, versus like H3 Knights and all that, so... Cavalier is just going to fall behind in economy by a lot, and yeah, his initial build, you know, wasn't that clean. And ooh, now there's a tower up, and yeah, Cavalier just hasn't really been active with the scout, which allowed WNT to really get out on the map. And this is actually like, well, I guess this is good that he's WNT is pushing as Cavalier's aging, but still, he's probably has a big bill lead where it doesn't need to be aggressive. Yeah, 79 bills to 52. Let's take a look. So Cavalier is... No! Wait, did he cancel the age up? Oh! He canceled the age up. I don't know how... That feels super, super painful. I don't know how close he was to aging, but I think at that point you have to just fully commit to the age up and like... Okay, I'm gonna actually rewatch this super quickly since Cavalier, I trained him in the past and I want to give him a good review here. Yeah, I want to see how close he was to getting that age up done. Anytime you cancel an age up, that feels very, very like painful, and I think it might have been in a tough spot where like he would have been very vulnerable to the push, but I think he needed to just commit to the age up most likely. Because it would have just taken him a long time to catch up with rather H2 army versus H2 army. So let's see. We'll just speed through it. I'm just waking up, starting my morning here, so I don't know if my voice sounds, I don't know, I'm a little dead, but I'm okay. Alright. So yeah, 2 idle villas there. It's always annoying. Sometimes villagers go idle like that and they don't appear idled because they're like trying to work but they can't work basically. So yeah, this initial gold that he gathered for Wheelbear, he just never use it for so long. And then yeah, I think he made too many horsemen and he also just like threw them away. And yeah, like at this point you should have like 4 villas on food or less. Like yeah, you need very, very few bills on food, and that's why you're seeing the food flow stack like crazy since he has so many bills on food. Yeah, with Abs and Macro, villagers are so cheap that you really don't want to put a lot of bills on food. So yeah, he's just, you know, very, very much macro. This TC coming extremely late, could have came like way sooner. This is a good TC location. I do really good location. I'm kind of on the hunt in berries and wood. Could try to push these deer maybe a little bit closer to TC, or just also mill, like put a mill there later or something. I can't believe that Cavalier that was aging. Yeah. Or did he not click it? Maybe he didn't start aging. No, yeah, he did start aging. Okay, so he's now aging. Gonna throw on a couple more houses. You do want to be more active with your scout. Like, you don't, I don't know what army composition your opponent has. You know, you let your opponent get a tower up, which doesn't feel great. Just try to be a bit more active with the scout, see what's going on. Yeah, his age up is almost done. Don't think he cancels it when he's like almost done aging. No, Cavalier. Okay, he sees the army. See, this is the first time he's being active with a scout. And then and look how much information he got from just moving his scout like a few pixels, or like a few tiles over. He was like, oh, this guy has a massive army and rams and and then Cavalier, yeah, he canceled it, I guess. No, Cavalier. I didn't look to see how close it was, but I think he was like almost done with it, and he decided to cancel it because he scouted this, which, like, yeah, obviously this army looks scary and you're gonna be vulnerable to a timing push, but you just have to commit to the age up there. Like, let this TC die, basically, and then just start getting a bunch of man-at-arms out. Like, you would have been able to queue up like man-at-arms, knights. You know, you could have dropped a couple more barracks and maybe gone like really heavy on man-at-arms, but yeah, I mean, after you cancel the age up, it feels like GG, because like you're just not gonna catch up really in army. And yeah, I think you just have to take that scary commit to the H3 there and just like let the TC die or something if you can't fight. But he actually has like a decent army here where, I mean, yeah, this fight can go really well. I don't know, I guess it's not like a horrible decision, but it felt, I don't know, it feels really strange. I think that was a pretty good job with the Vil pull. He could maybe pull the Vils a little sooner and maybe save the TC, but overall I think this fight is, yeah, it's actually going like extremely well for Cavalier. Yeah, Cavalier actually freaking wrecked in that fight. But I don't think he added that many units after he canceled the age up. Like, I think the fight happened like maybe 20 seconds after he canceled the age up. So I feel like he only added like maybe a few units in that fight. I'm pretty sure he could have essentially had the same exact result while now being in H3. Like, imagine if the fight went basically the same, or maybe he lost a few more spearmen, but now he's H3, right? Like, I think that's what would have happened if he didn't cancel the age up. And then he would have been like, oh, you know, in a really good spot potentially where he could be making man-arms right now, knights and all that stuff after winning a really good fight. But overall, like, that fight actually went very well for Cavalier. Like, probably a really good job microing, getting the Vils on the rams and the spears on the horses and all that. Yeah, actually went really well. This is tough because it would be nice to just push your opponent after getting a very overwhelming win like that in a fight. It would be nice to try to push your opponent. But this one tower is really annoying where it feels like, it's like right in the path of where my units would be going, so I feel like I have to kill it. Which, yeah, I don't know, it's tough. Like, maybe the smartest to just kill this. Maybe you can could have sent some archers and a couple spears to try to like see if you could put some aggression on, but yeah, it's kind of like the safest option to just get that tower out of the way. But it would have been nice to like push your opponent off of these resources and stuff. Like, if that tower never got built, that would have been really nice, because then you would have been able to push. And now WNT is up in H3. Yeah, now Cavalier's macro is a bit off. Like, if he's gonna age, he either needs it. He's still training units. Yeah, that's what's off. Right now, Cavalier is still training units, but he has like the resources to age up basically. So he either should have like. Oh wait, what the hell? My bad. Okay, Cavalier snuck in an age up. Okay. I'm kind of confused. He did sneak in an age up. Maybe I haven't had my coffee yet this morning. But he did for sure cancel the age up, right? Or am I just completely tripping? Oh my god, sorry. I need to watch this wreck again. Maybe he did cancel the age up, right? And then he just must have re-queued it while I kind of didn't notice. Alright, apparently this is becoming a long wreck review. This is what happens when I watch a record game before having coffee and before fully waking up. Alright, well, this should be a funny wreck review. It was this Lipany game. But yeah, this is also a good example of, like, sometimes you want to fully, see what happens in a wreck, and then, maybe you're not paying attention for a few seconds, and there's nothing wrong with ever, like, going back and rewatching a wreck. And, like, some people will say, I think in, like, StarCraft you can rewind wrecks and all that, and unfortunately in AOE IV you can't, so yeah, I guess this is what I have to do. I have to reopen the wreck multiple times. But yeah, it's, if you want to really look at things specifically, nothing wrong with just reopening it. Yeah, dropped them off right there. I would have dropped, I said this already, I would have dropped the sheep off there, and then I would be having my scout be going this way. All this gold's gonna be floated for quite some time. Yeah, with like Cavalier's build version that he did, I would have just gathered only enough gold for fresh food stuff, and then you would get for fresh food stuff, and then you could do like wheelbarrow later down the road. But instead, he's just like leaving this 150 gold in his bank like forever. he could be building a second TC like basically now if he had like, you know, imagine if this. Well, I'm repeating myself so much, but imagine if this food's at like 100. He basically has like, you know, he'd have enough for a TC. And then he's also added an archer range. Okay, I actually don't like this either. He added an archer range before a second TC. And he even made archer. So when you open military building and then TC, you really only want to do one military building and then add a couple units and then do the TC. Instead, he delayed his TC like massively by one mismacroing, but then also adding a second military building and then some military units and then the TC. So that really slowed down his second TC massively. Okay, so he's aging. He is currently aging. He's still aging. He is currently aging. Imagine if he never canceled this and I'm just like completely lost my mind, and maybe I did completely lose my mind. Okay, he's still aging. He hasn't scout. I think he's okay, and then he just canceled it. Yeah. Ah. What the hell? What happened? He was like, yeah, he was so close. He was like 80% of the way aged, and then he canceled it. And then he queued up a shit ton of blacksmith upgrades. Oh god. Yeah, like he actually didn't even really add more units from canceling the age up. Like, I think he would have maybe won the game potentially, because he like freaking demolishes this fight. This fight goes extremely well for Cavalier. Like, Cavalier should be age 3, like, right now. If he didn't cancel his age up, I think he would have hit age 3 right now. And, he actually would have been in a really good spot. When does he queue up the age up again? Okay. Okay, now he queues up the age up now. Okay, so now he starts aging immediately after winning the fight. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, yeah, so he did just kind of sneak in the age up, like I said, when I didn't notice. But yeah, oh my god, man, if he never canceled that age up, like he would be queuing up knights, like he'd be heavy man arms and knights, like potentially here right now. Yeah, that's devastating. Okay, so now we're basically back to where I was. Yeah, now he's having to fight against like the man arms and stuff, but this is like a good fight for him, but now he's at a point where he's flowing much resources. That's a tough thing where you need to queue up preservation of knowledge like the second you hit age 3. Want to, you know, for sure get that upgrade right away. Putting on a fair amount of pressure, but right now he's floating a lot of resources, and he's even in H3. Like, you need to start queuing shit up. And okay, now he's doing a farm transition, which is painful. Definitely you want to go on this hunt. It looks like you let your opponent get these berries. Like, there's berries over here. You're farming way too early with a bastard. Like, you should not be farming. Like, go on the hunt. You know, go onto the far berries. Like, don't. He's even got far berries here. Like, these farms are coming down way too soon for an Abbasid player, I would say. Even if, like, if you can map control, you can even like try to go on the, you know, these berries, you know, stuff like that. I think he's trying to be active and raid with the archers. Not a bad, but it is a little bit tough because your opponent's already age 3. He's been age 3 for a while. He's training knights and he's training man arms, so it's, I don't know, it's hard to get the archer raids in when you know your opponent like has these mobile units that can just clean up the archer raids very easily. And now he's just Cavalier's just floating like way too many resources. Just start queuing up units. You know, kind of fix your macro a bit. He's a little bit gold starved, too much wood. But oh man, if he didn't cancel that age up, he might have he would have, you know, obviously been in a much better spot where he was still behind in economies, but he would have potentially had a window to do a timing push and win. Okay, and right here, Ram. Oh, I guess he wants to kill this. Okay, it kind of makes sense. He wants to kill that, but yeah, he's just very behind in economy. But yeah, if he didn't cancel that age up, he would have had the opportunity to just do a timing push to kind of end the game, because he was, even though he was very far behind in economy, he demolished the one fight here, and yeah, he would have perhaps been in a good spot to just like overwhelm his opponent with military to win the game. But now just Kevlar's like way better economy that he had for a long time, or the opponent's way better eco, you know, kicked in and won the game. All right, that is it for this direct review. Good morning, people. Okay. All right, thanks for watching, guys.